everyone, I hope you're doing well and welcome back to my channel. So I've not filmed in quite a few weeks, so it feels kind of weird to be back set up filming for you guys today, and that's obviously because my last upload was footage from my Japan trip, and then I've actually just come back from seeing my boyfriend for just over 10 days. But I'm really excited to be back filming, and today I'm going to be talking about how I plan my Japan trips and just some general pretty helpful and useful Japan travel tips. That is a mouthful. This video was quite highly requested, and along with this there are still quite a few Japan hauls to come, including the huge Japanese fashion haul, so stay tuned for that. I'm hopefully going to be filming that next week, so keep an eye out for that. So without further ado, let's jump straight into today's video. So obviously this was my second time going to Japan. I went last April, and obviously I've just been last month. So I wouldn't call myself experienced, but like I have pretty good knowledge on when it comes to booking flights to Japan and just getting around Japan in general, so hopefully I can pass on some of my expertise to you guys today. And the first thing I'm going to touch on is, of course, flights and visas and that kind of stuff. And obviously before you book your flights or anything, you need to make sure that you have a passport, otherwise you're not going to be going anywhere. Along with this, I don't know how many countries it is, but pretty much most countries in the world, you can get into Japan without a visa, and you are allowed to stay up to 90 days. In your passport there you get like a little landing permission thing that they'll stamp when you're going through like the border security. And this just tells you the day that you landed and the day that you have to be out of the country by. Obviously if you are planning to stay more than 90 days, then you will need to apply for a student visa or a working visa, whatever kind of visa that you need to have, so make sure that you have all that before you book your flights. Next obviously are the flights themselves. Now I did mine was a package deal, and I did the same as I did last year. I went onto Expedia and I got a package deal of hotel and flights. So my flights and my hotel, I stayed in Hotel Grace 3 Shinjuku. It was just like one big package deal. Obviously because I stayed in Shinjuku itself, which is like central Tokyo. For a lot of people the price of the hotel might be a bit expensive, but I was willing to pay that just because obviously as I stayed there last year I knew where it was in relation to the station and things like that, so it was just a lot easier for me as I was travelling alone this time. If you're not willing to spend so much on a hotel, then you can use Airbnb. Airbnbs are really great. I've had lots and lots of friends who have used Airbnbs in Japan, and it's just basically a person who will rent out their home to travellers to stay in, and they're often very good prices, and you can find them in most central places in Tokyo. And then with the flight themselves, if you can, always make sure you book your flights to go to Haneda Airport. Tokyo itself has two main airports, Haneda and Narita. Narita, I can't ever say that right, but yes, Haneda is the larger airport, and most international flights tend to fly into there. Obviously some airports will fly to Narita, so I definitely recommend you going to Haneda just because it is the larger airport and it's just much easier to navigate yourself from there. Next, something else handy which I booked myself both times on my Japan trips was pocket Wi-Fi. You may think that Japan is like a super high-tech country and they have free Wi-Fi absolutely everywhere. Obviously they are extremely high-tech and advanced in some ways, like heated toilet seats, which are like my favourite things ever, and I miss them so much. Like in whatever country you may live in, there isn't free Wi-Fi everywhere. It's becoming more increasingly common, but I definitely recommend booking yourself a portable Wi-Fi device. I use a site called eConnect, and I will hopefully try and list all of these sites in the description box down below. If I don't, please just comment and I'll hopefully put it in there. But I used a site called eConnect, And basically I went on there, I chose the kind of device that I wanted. I think it was a 4G one with unlimited data, and then I just selected the dates that I needed it from, and then I just got it delivered to my hotel, and it was as easy as that. Obviously I used this site last year, and this year I've had no problems. And then just before you leave, you'll put it into like a sort of like cardboard package, and then you can give it to the hotel or just find a post box, and then you send it back, and it's as easy as that. And I have to say, it saved me so many times in the times I just need to like pull up Google Maps or anything like that. It's an absolute lifesaver and a must-have if you are traveling around Tokyo. Something else to note before you arrive in Japan: it is probably best to exchange your money before you arrive in Japan. You can exchange your money at the airport or at post offices, but the exchange rate will be much lower and really not very good. So I recommend doing it at least 1 or 2 weeks beforehand, just so you can hopefully get the best deal that you can. I just did mine at my local post office, and I did have to order my yen in, as it's not as a very popular currency, say like dollars or euros, so I recommend doing it beforehand just to make sure that they can order it in for you. If you find yourself stuck and you do need to withdraw cash, then most 7-Elevens or Family Marts do have ATMs inside them which do accept foreign bank cards. And I have to say, after I found that out, it was very tempting just to go in there and just withdraw like 10,000 yen. But it can help save you, as there was a few times that I went out and I didn't have enough cash on me. Because if you didn't know, Japan is a very cash-based society, so most shops will take cash. Obviously some larger stores will accept cards, but most chains do just accept cash. And of course they might not accept foreign credit cards. Also, make sure you phone your bank before you leave, just so they're aware that you're going to be using your card abroad, as you don't want to be in a pickle. You need to withdraw cash and you find your card is blocked, as that is not fun at all. Next, I'm just going to talk a bit about the trains and travel in Japan. Now, the main form of travel to get around Tokyo itself is by the subway or the metro line. If you are going to be travelling on the metro, I recommend you getting yourself a Suica card like this. This is the sort of equivalent to the Oyster card that we have in the UK, and it's basically what you just use to pay for your fares. In the stations, you'll see that there are like barriers. If you purchase a single one-way ticket, then you'll just put it in like the little slot, and then the barriers will open for you. Don't be fooled, the barriers can be open, but trust me, it'll sense that somebody is trying to walk through, and if you haven't either beeped your Suica card or put your ticket through, it will stop you. There have been a couple of times where I thought I'd beat my Suica card, but like it just hasn't read it properly, and the barriers have closed on me, and it's just like so embarrassing. So make sure you've done that before you walk through. If you're wondering where to purchase a Suica card from, in every station there obviously are the ticket machines, and most of them will have like Suica red on them, and basically you'll just you can select to have the machine read in English, and then you can just select the Suica option from the side, and it can print you out a new Suica card. There is a charge for it, I think it's like 500 yen or so, and I believe you can return your Suica card before you leave and get that deposit fee back, but I just decided to keep mine. I will obviously be using it for my next Japan trip. And then when you go to the machines, every time you go into the station, you can just use the machines to top up your Suica card, and it's as easy as that. Oh, and one thing actually, I just want to show you guys. Oh my god, I've got a Taro's in my face. Everything's falling down. You will notice in Japan they have for sale a lot of these things called pass cases, and now I've had one for like ages. I had a really nice Sailor Moon one, but it's sadly broke now. But I got myself a new pass case, and it's a cinnamon roll, and I love it so much. It's so squishy and fluffy. But yes, these are really handy, as even unlike traveling in this country, in the UK, you just put your pass in there, and then it has this cool elasticated like, I don't know what you call this thing, but yeah, it's just really handy because you can just pull it out, beep it, and you'll be on your way. And one other thing about trains in Tokyo is they can get very busy, and I mean busy. Like, London is nothing compared to what the trains can be like in Tokyo, especially in a rush hour time. You will literally be squeezed onto the train like a sardine, and for somebody who has like anxiety and like claustrophobia, It's not a nice experience, but sadly that's just the way it is, and I just make sure I have my music in turned up really loud, and that helps me get through it. And I just sort of like find a corner and just like hold on to a rail. But just make sure you are prepared for how busy it can be. If you are wanting to avoid that, then you can use buses. They are a lot quieter than trains. I've not used any myself, but I'm sure they're just as good as trains. Something else to note about Japan is that, especially on the trains, it's not very common for people to have like very loud conversations. You might see a lot of like school kids talking, but most people stay very quiet on the trains to themselves. They won't generally talk on the phone, as it's considered quite rude, and often people will switch their phones to silent. On the trains there will often be like signs saying please do not talk on the phone and switch your phone to silent, and that's purely just for the fact so you can be considerate for all those around you, and just so everyone can have a very pleasant journey. And one last thing that I'm gonna quickly touch on is often in toilets in Japan, especially in stations, one, they're not all like normal toilets that you have in, say, the UK. You'll find squat toilets, like, yeah, literal holes in the ground where you kind of have to like squat over. I've not actually used any just because I don't know, I just can't, and I'm always wearing like skirts and crap. It's just too awkward and I just can't do it. So yeah, just be prepared if you do need a wee and you go to the especially station toilets. You might not find a normal toilet. As well as that, they don't often have hand towels, especially in station toilets, so make sure you carry around like a little towel with you. I had a cute Pokemon one in my bag at all times, and also some hand sanitizer, as they don't always provide soap. Now, I could go on for hours and hours about many other things that you should know before you go to Japan and whilst you're in Japan, but I will be here for a very long time. So those are kind of like the main things that you should be aware of before and when you are coming to travel in Japan. If you would like me to make another video maybe talking about my favorite areas in Japan and like the best places to go and sightsee and eat and shop at, then please do comment down below and I will be very happy to make that for you. Like I said before, stay tuned for some more Japan hauls. Sadly, I don't have any other vlogs coming. I've had quite a few people ask me if I've got any more vlogs, and that was the only footage I got. I'm so sorry. I know I've said it before, and I do wish I had, well, that's very bad. And I do wish I had filmed more now, but obviously at the time I just didn't feel like filming all the time, so that is in the past. I hope you have enjoyed the Japan footage that I have uploaded. If you did enjoy this video, then please make sure to give it a like and to subscribe before you go. I hope you are all having a wonderful day, and I will see you all next time. Bye guys.